If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Well, hello. Welcome, everyone, to the Inspired Choices Radio Show. I am your host, Christine McIver. I'm so excited to do this show tonight. This topic has really been in my life and has been popping so much, especially when I've been facilitating clients and facilitating classes. And it, as I've said to everyone before, the week prior to my show, I often, quote unquote, live my show. It's really interesting that I need to create it that way. So let's see what tonight's going to be. So we are talking about, are you refusing being willing? And it's a bit of a brain twist, so you might have to stick with me if you've never heard of this before, the whole concept around being willing. But I promise by the end of the show, you will have a great deal larger awareness around how you can create greater with your willingness in not refusing being anything and everything. So before we get into tonight's show, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. First of all, I'm Christine, and I love to do a lot of different things. I am a possibilities coach. And what is a possibilities coach? Well, I absolutely know that anything is possible. I know that when you choose, when you decide, when you demand, you can create it. You can be it. You can have it. It may not show up the way you expect it to, and yet the possibilities are endless in the universe, endless in your reality if you're willing to have it. Oh, that's cute. Are you willing to have all the possibilities? So I work with individuals and organizations to help co-create the living and life that they desire with all the possibilities available in the universe. I'm an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator, a professionally trained coach, an energy healer, radio show producer, host, and the owner of this radio station. How does it get any better than that? I also love to build websites, teach people social media, teach people about business, teach people about, how they can change their sadness into something greater. I love working with people around divorce. I have a program called Divorce with Dignity. That program is really near and dear to my heart. I'm also soon to be a published author. And, and then it just goes on and on and on. I love to create. And when I started to step into more and more and more of what I love, it's like, oh, I'll have that candy and I'll have that candy. And oh yeah, I like that and I like that and I like that. When I stopped judging myself, I was able to step into more and more creation. And now I love to be that with clients and with organizations and with teams. So if that is something that you would like to have more of in your life, the knowing that you can have more, I'd love to hear from you. You can connect with me at Christine@inspiredchoices.ca, and also my website, inspiredchoices.ca, and on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, either Christine McIver or inspiredchoices.ca. So that's a little bit about myself. One last thing is I've got 2 programs that I'm facilitating right now. The first one is changing the conversation with suicide. Very heavy topic, I know. And these calls have been miraculous. They have been opening up so much more around the heaviness, the sadness, the burden, the guilt, the depression, the anger around suicide. And I am absolutely loving these calls. If you have not had a chance to connect with the calls as yet, or if you are hearing this after the calls have concluded, please know that you can still pick up the 3-call series. All you need to do is email me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. What if these calls could actually change something for you around suicide, whether it's someone that you love that you know is choosing it, has chosen it, or you're someone that has considered choosing it. We've covered all areas of this topic, and there may even be a book in the future around this, so stay tuned for that. I also have a class with the Access Consciousness classes called The Foundation that's coming up in Kitchener, August the 19th through the 22nd of 2016. You can find out all that information on my Access site or on Facebook or my website. So, tonight, we are talking about, are you refusing being willing? Do you ever say, I'll try? I know I have. I'll try. Have you ever found yourself wanting to step forward but refusing the path? Yeah, I want that. And then you do everything to avoid it massively. What if what you are refusing is actually stopping you from having more of what you truly desire? Have you ever considered that being willing could actually be the thing that unlocks it for you? What if it's just simply that, being willing? Are you ready? Do you really, really, really desire to change what isn't working for you? Are you really, really, really ready to invite more into your life? Are you really ready to receive more? Are you ready to even receive 10% more? Are you willing to come out of the lies that you can't have more? Really? Exactly, Keisha. What if just saying, I am willing, begins to unlock it? So, as I said, I always seem to have the interesting creation the week prior to my show. As I'm doing my show, I start to have more and more of the awareness of all of this come into my reality, and how many places and spaces I have not been willing. So I was talking with a friend earlier this week, and okay, here's total vulnerability. You guys ready? I was pissed off. I was pissed off because I saw someone that was really being a total biatch. And this person's choices were they were basically saying F you to me with their choices. And you know what, guys? I'm now willing to be aware of that. I'm now willing to totally acknowledge it. And I can acknowledge it without judgment. I was judging it. I will admit that. So I've been working on that. But I was willing to look at that. And my friend who I was speaking to, she said, well, are you willing to be that as well? And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be a biatch like that. And she just looked at me and she said, well, what's that doing for you if you're not willing? And I'm like, oh my God. So so if you guys don't get this, in the space that I was in not being willing to be that energy, not that I had to choose to be the biatch, but the willingness to be in that energy, it was actually stopping me. It was holding me hostage. It was pulling me back from being able to step into more awareness. It was holding me back from getting more information. It was holding me back from completely and totally being able to choose beyond her choice of being a biatch. I don't have to be a biatch, but if I refuse to be willing to be that energy, it stops me. Okay? So it's like this. Let me try and give you a visual if this totally is messing. Okay, so wait a minute. So everywhere that you are not willing to know exactly what I'm talking about, would you like to give that up now? Okay, good. Right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so sometimes our brains get twisted when we're hearing something being explained to us, especially on these radio shows because they're pretty potent. And sometimes that brain twist is actually how we stop ourselves. So when I actually ask you if you'd like to give that up, and then I use this crazy statement, it actually starts to give you some space around it. It starts to allow you to receive more of it, okay? So that crazy statement is called the clearing statement, and you can find out more about that at theclearingstatement.com, and that is one of the tools of access consciousness that we use. And basically it's like just, if you've got a great big huge stack of bricks, it pulls the last brick so they can all come falling down. So you don't have to spend years taking the bricks off one at a time. Okay, so back to what we were talking about. So you're being willing. When you are really moving forward into the space of being willing, what you start to do is you crack the door open a little bit. You're willing to look at something. You're willing to acknowledge what is actually occurring. All right? Your willingness is like, okay, I don't have the strength to do this. I don't have the desire to do this, but I have the willingness. And it's in the willingness that you can just feel that word, willing. You can just feel it start to expand. It's a very expansive word. And it's like, okay, I don't have to fight anymore. I don't have to refuse anymore, but in my willingness, I'm willing to open my hands. I'm willing to receive. I'm willing to ask. I'm willing to dance and co-create with the universe. So would you be willing to receive from the universe? Would you be willing to receive from me right now? Awesome. So everywhere you're trying to stop yourself by saying, this doesn't make sense, and I don't know what the hell she's talking about, and this is never going to work. Would you like to give that up for this hour? Just for this hour. Cool. And everything that doesn't allow that, let's destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, POC, POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Okay, so when you are literally willing, just willing to do this like 5%, 10%, you start to get more information. You start to get more awareness. When you are refusing something, it's like saying, this is, sorry, brain is trying to give a visual here. Okay, so let's say you're someone that is choosing to create something different with your body, okay? And I am right now. I'm really in a space of creating differently with my body, and I'm having so much fun. And I look at the way that I created in the past with my body when I wanted to do something different, and I'm really looking at all of those places where I created and where my brain wants to go to now. And then what I'm choosing is to look at how I can do this in a way that creates more ease and more joy and more laughter and more permanency, so that it will really just keep creating forward, okay? So let's say you're someone that wants to create a yummy, happy, sexy body. Yes, Roseanne, exactly, sexy body. So if someone is saying to you, do you want a piece of cake? And you put up your hand and you go, no, I am not having that, right? You're putting up a wall to it. You are doing refusing, right? You're just stopping that. You're like, don't come near me with that. I don't want to have anything to do with that. You're going to screw things up for me. You're going to ruin my plan. I've got a plan in place. Stop it, right? What if you were willing to receive the yumminess of that cake energetically? What if the yumminess of that creation, that somebody created this yummy cake and they put so much love and they put so much contribution and kindness into that cake? What if you refusing that is actually refusing what will contribute to your yummy, sexy body? The minute you put up the wall, the refusing, you don't get the awareness of what is possible. You just slam the door shut and you cut things off. Wherever you start to cut things off, you cut off awareness. So when you are refusing being willing, you're cutting off awareness. And then when you're cutting off awareness, how can you actually receive and create more? Right? Okay, so my ears are buzzing. It's time for a break. Holy moly. How much more wants to be created from this? Oh, how many people are talking to me and blowing in my ears right now? Wow. Okay, so right now we're going to go to a very quick break. When we come back, I'm going to answer some of your questions in the chat room. I would love for you to call in with a question. Tell me about what's going on with you. Let me contribute to you. Why not? How much fun could we have on this call seeing what we can change together? So if you would like to call in, you can do so from the U.S., 815-880-8255. In Canada, 613-800-8736. You can come on over to our chat room at a2zen.fm/chat room. And you can also call in with Skype, a2zen.fm. So I would love to take your questions. You are listening to Inspired Choices with myself, Christine McIver, here on a2zen.fm. And when we get back, we're going to really step into looking at what are you really refusing. So stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What if you really do change molecules by your interaction with them? What if the change you've been looking for is right before your eyes? What if the uncomfortableness that comes with difference could be fun? What if the closed-minded people of the world no longer determined our world? What if gratitude trumps judgment every time? What if your kindness healed the world? What if the earth is asking for your help? And what if you had the resources to give it? This is your invitation to step into something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Picasso, Da Vinci, Shakespeare, Aristotle all knew to be true. Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. What if there are no dumb questions, or any question too large? What if you being you are the gift and the change this world requires? Is now the time? For more questions to create a change in your world, sign up for a free video series at beingyouclass.com. My gift to you, beingyouclass.com.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around tonight, or if you're just joining, thank you, thank you, thank you. So tonight we are talking about, are you refusing being willing? So what does it mean to really be refusing being willing? We oftentimes refuse things because we have a judgment, we have a point of view, we're worried about what other people will think, we're worried about how we're going to be received, what the outcome's going to be. We're trying to live out the future before we actually choose. That is like trying to have sex before you actually meet someone. Actually, you don't really get anywhere with that kind of nonsense. So when you're refusing being willing, you cut things off. So are you refusing being willing to fail? Here is a big one for me, you guys. And I really learned this one big time, is when I am refusing being willing to fail, what I actually do is I I go into this contraction of trying to get something right. And when we're trying to get something right, then when we're trying to get something right, we're actually constantly in the judging space. We're judging. And when we're constantly in the judging space, then we can't actually step into greater because we're so worried about failing that we miss actually sailing. Does that make sense? So are you refusing being willing to fail? Are you refusing being willing to have fun? Are you refusing being willing to have more fun than you've ever had before? Have you concluded how much fun you're allowed to have? What if you had so much fun you actually, had an orgasm? What would that be like for you? What if you were having so much fun that people actually gave you money? What if people were actually judging you because you were having so much fun, and because of the judgment, more people started to chase you and want to be around you? Have you concluded how much fun you're allowed to have? Are you refusing being willing to have or be anything? Really starting to look at some of these, and I have a whole bunch more I'm going to go through in a little bit, but I know we do have a live caller on the line. Roseanne, thank you so much for calling in. I would love to hear your question live. Hi, darling.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. I'm great. Thank you.
Awesome. So tell all of our listeners what your question was in the chat room.
Okay. I have a huge abundance of time that I've never had before. I've always worked, always had a child, and this summer I have neither. So I am twiddling my thumbs.
Okay.
It's just
so
weird.
Are you refusing being bored?
Mhm. Yeah.
So are you fighting?
Yeah.
Are you fighting being bored?
I don't know.
Okay, so tell me what's going on when you are quote unquote twiddling your thumbs.
Well, yeah, wondering why I'm not enjoying it. Okay.
Right. So you're actually it's a twist, isn't it? It's a real brain twist.
Totally.
So how many people are constantly saying, I wish I had more time. I wish I had more time. Oh my gosh, I wish I had more time. And here's Roseanne sitting there twiddling her thumbs and refusing enjoying.
Well, let me be clear. I mean, I've had it now for longer than the summer. I've had it for over a year. So
okay, cool.
It's been a while.
So has anything changed in your refusing?
I would say yes. My daughter went with her dad, so I feel like I should just go do something productive. Go, do what I love. Do something. Anything.
Okay. So how much are you judging yourself in all of this?
100%.
A lot, a little, or a megaton?
Yeah, 100%. Megaton.
Yeah.
That's
okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how's that working for you?
Not so good.
Yeah, right. So I totally can get the picture. So you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, great. All this time again. What the hell am I going to do with my time? I have nothing to do. I have no kids to take care of. I have no idea what to do. This is going to be another boring damn day.
Kind of. Not that heavy, but...
Okay, so I like to play with
I totally appreciate it. I do appreciate it, but I do wish for more fun.
Okay, so if you were willing tomorrow, Roseanne, to so fucking love all of the time you had, wake the fuck up out of bed, get the fuck out of that bed, get up as soon as you wake up and go, damn, what am I going to enjoy today? Oh my gosh, I got all this time. Oh my gosh, how much fun can I have with all of this time? Seriously, I want you to take all of this time that you have. I want you to put it on a lazy Susan right now, okay? Got it? And I want you to shift that lazy Susan. I want you to shift it 25%.
Okay.
And I want you to see this time in a little bit different way. Because you've already decided and concluded what it means every single day, yes?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a habit now.
Right. Okay, cool. Do you want to get out of that habit, or is this fun staying here?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I mean, there's like this either or that I'm stuck in. Either I do something, because that's how I am pretty much. So I do nothing 100%, or I do something.
Okay.
So yeah, 25% is probably a good deal.
So every time you say, "This is the way I am," okay, what I want you to really see, I want you to see two walls come in on either side of you, and you've got tunnel vision.
Exactly.
So you're locking yourself in that, Roseanne, and then that's the only direction you can continue to go. Now, what you can say is, how you can change this 25% is you can say, this is the way I've always been, but today I'm willing for it to change.
25% is a good deal. I like that deal.
Cool. So just saying it, Roseanne, each day, I'm willing for this to change. I'm really willing for this to change. I'm ready.
It didn't occur to me to pick 25%.
So it's all or nothing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
So how many of us, Roseanne, have been told in this, in the world today, how many of us been told either, it's, that saying, shit or get off the pot. It's either, well, if you're not doing that, then you better damn well do this.
How do you show up somewhere and say, well, I'm only going to work these hours, and that's all you can have? How do you do that?
Well, what if there's something that's desiring being nurtured slowly, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible for sure.
Right? When I first started this radio station, Roseanne, I had my show, and I had my co-producer's show, Carol Glover, and we had one other person's show. So we only did 3 hours a week. Now, if I said it was all or nothing, I would have killed what was possible, correct? Exactly. Yeah. Right? And so I was like, okay. So what I started to do, so if you're looking at this from a business perspective, Roseanne, what I started to do is I started to look at, okay, all right, so cool. I enjoy doing this, so I'm going to add this in here. And then, okay, hey, that would be fun, so I added this in here. It's kind of like creating a beautiful dinner, right? You don't only eat steak. You wouldn't eat 3 servings of steak. You would have a little steak, a little salad. You might have some bread. You might have some vegetables, maybe potatoes. Maybe you're going to have some dessert, a glass of wine, right? You're going to have a variety. Yeah. So how much fun could you actually have adding things a little bit at a time with what would be fun? Like in your day, what if moving your body would be fun, creating a beautiful meal, going and meeting a friend, starting to write a book, starting to create. Do you know what do you see what I'm saying? Yeah, I like it. I do like it. I feel it. How much are you looking for an answer, Roseanne? I'd say a lot. I'd say I'm looking. I'd say I'm looking, for the perfect answer. Like, so I don't have to keep looking. Because honestly, I'm tired of looking. Okay, cool. So you know what just popped in? You have children, right? Yeah. Do you ever expect one of your children to be the perfect child? Of course. And what does that create when we expect a child to be the perfect one? Yeah. I mean, yeah. What does it do? Yeah. Seriously. Crazy town. Well, the child then feels massive friggin' pressure. Right? Well, I mean, only in my head. I don't say, like, hey, but what if you did? You should do that. Right.
Yeah.
But what if you
Oh, yeah.
right? They feel
It would
massive
be
amount of
horrible.
pressure. They start to revolt, right? They start to run away.
Well, honestly, that's what I do to myself, because I do expect this, and I do say this stuff in my head to myself. But you're right. I mean, I am
How
that.
how much are you running away from yourself?
100%.
Cool.
Because I am like making this box. So
you
yeah.
know that
Okay,
you know that perfection is actually a lie, right? Perfection is a lie. You are a gorgeous creation that is ever evolving, that is ever unfolding. You're everything that you be and do, your body, your words, your laughter, your joy, your anger, your sadness, your creations, your yumminess, your craziness, it's ever unfolding. Ever, ever, ever.
When
You're
I
never
expand
going to be
out,
done. Yes?
Yeah, and when I expand out like that and I feel that expansiveness, I go back to the contracted opposition, and then I can sort of feel it more.
Right.
And then I keep doing that. I keep going out and in and out and in, and then I try to, I don't know, I guess I get heady about it.
Yeah.
And then I wonder, and then I just sit, and it feels like play, but I don't think it is.
Okay. Is any of it at all heavy?
No. It's
Okay.
I feel curious. It's a curiosity. And then I just end up, it does, I don't know if it's play, but that's the only word that's coming up.
Okay,
To
so
just feel the energy, and then I don't choose, though. So that's the deal, that I
there
don't
we go.
choose.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's it right there.
Yeah.
That was what was popping next.
Because I think, well, I like to play. Like, I go on the, like you said, I like the buffet where I like the different types of food. So for me, when choice comes up, like, I want to see all the choices first before I pick one. I mean, like,
so
why wouldn't I?
You want to see everything before you choose because you might miss out on something.
Well,
okay.
no, because I do like all the choices. Like, I see all of them as perfect or as great or as possible. I don't like, God, the word. I think all of them could be great. I really do.
Okay.
I don't know if that's naive, but.
Okay, so tell me, when you go into a buffet and you've got 500 pieces of food to choose from, what do you do?
I'll probably try 400.
Okay, so you will actually choose.
I will, yes.
So would you would you begin to look at what's in front of you each day as a buffet and start to taste each thing? You're stopping yourself in the choosing. You're not willing to choose. Now, I'm not saying you actually have to choose, but you're actually not even willing to choose.
That's true.
Cool. Yep. So everywhere you've concluded and decided you have to get it right before you would even be willing to choose, will you destroy and create all of that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, talk pot all night, shorts, boys and beyond. Okay, hold on, Roseanne. We're going to go for a quick break. Okay? Don't go away. We're going to be back with Roseanne. You are listening to Inspired Choices with your host, Christine McIver, and tonight we are talking about, are you refusing being willing? Stay tuned. We'll be right back, everyone.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
Do you know a child who is frustrated and disruptive in class? Who struggles to connect? Who's bright but still not making the grade? Have you ever wished that there were a kinder, gentler way to support children with difficulties in school or at home? Many children find access bars is benefiting them greatly. A study is being conducted to document findings in an effort to assist kids everywhere with these life-changing benefits. Will you donate and help to assist kids thrive? Visit www.accessyourbrilliance.com to support our study. What else is possible for kids now more than ever?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Thank you for staying with us tonight, everyone. I'm so happy to have you here. And tonight we are talking about, are you refusing being willing? There are so many places and spaces where we actually stop what is possible when we say we desire more, we want to have more, we're going to choose more, and we actually cut ourselves off. Do you ever, it's kind of like that little child who says, yes, I will do it, and then they're crossing their fingers behind their back. So how many of us are actually crossing our fingers behind our back saying, you damn well know you're not going to do this, girl, so don't even lie. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to everybody else if you think you're not going to do that, if you think you're going to do that. You know what? Are you refusing being willing to admit you were wrong? Are you refusing being willing to know that you know? Are you refusing being willing to say, I love you? Are you refusing being willing to say, I'm hurt? Are you refusing being willing to stretch yourself beyond anywhere you have ever gone before? Are you refusing being willing to tell someone how you really feel? Are you refusing being willing to speak what is really true for you? Are you refusing being willing to be an absolute bitch? Are you refusing being willing to hurt someone? Are you refusing being willing to being the most potent being in the universe? Do you know the ones that really catch me? And I'm wondering about Roseanne and everyone that's listening tonight and in the chat room. The ones that really got me on that list when I started looking at it was refusing being willing to know that I know, refusing being willing to see my brilliance, refusing being willing to go where I've never gone before. It's like we paint this landscape of our desires, and then we throw it in the trash with our unwillingness to be willing. We cut off the possibilities because we're not willing. Just being willing, guys. You don't have to do anything. Being willing. There were so many times when, I was falling apart. I was a mess. I was a basket friggin' case. I should have been in the loony bin years ago. Because I was, okay, Roseanne, no, that wasn't the time to laugh.
Sorry.
Totally joking. I really was losing it, okay? I was out of my mind with sadness and depression and feeling like I was just never going to actually hit my targets. And I was finally like, oh my God, okay, I'm willing to push myself. I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to go beyond. My very first radio show, and I'm sorry, you guys, I think it's gone in the ether somewhere, but my very first radio show, I just about threw up 2 minutes before I started my first radio show. And I'm just like, no, I could have not called in and not done the show, right? But I was like, no, I'm willing to fail. I'm willing to go where I've never gone before so I can really create everything. My target is to have more joy in my life every single day. And so if each and every one of us was really willing to say, okay, what is it that I'm refusing willing today? That if I would stop refusing to be, have, and receive it all, would create greater than I've ever even imagined. if you really start to ask yourself that question, what can change? What more would you then be willing to receive? So everything that doesn't allow you to be, know, receive, and perceive all of that, would you like to destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So, Roseanne, thank you so much for sticking around.
Sure. Thank you.
What's popping for you now after I went through some of that list?
Choosing easily would be great. And
Choosing
not having a fear of missing out.
Okay, so when you said choosing easily, what does choosing easily look like to you?
Making a choice within a certain amount of time, or making it so that I don't think about what I'm not getting. So it's that FOMO.
So you're already putting rules on your choosing.
Mm-hmm. Conclusions, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and so when you have these expectations around something you are desiring or you want to choose, what you do is you start to limit what the universe can actually contribute to you.
Yeah, I see that.
Right? So it's like,
yeah.
I want a nice car, but it needs to be red, and it needs to come in this size, and it needs to not cost more than this, and it has to be able to do that, and it's like, holy moly, limitation. So would you be willing to give up all your definitions of how something has to show up for you? That was the no, Bob. If nobody else heard that, it was no, Bob.
That was like a hell no.
So I thank you so much for being right up front with that. Your willingness to not actually stops what's possible.
Yeah.
So it's like saying, I want $1 million, but it must show up on Tuesday at 3 o'clock with a sexy man who is 6 feet tall driving a purple car, and he has to be able to sing the Canadian, the U.S. national anthems simultaneously.
I would consider all of those things a choice. I chose all that, so I ordered it, right? So that's in my mind a little twist of this thing.
What if your definitions of how is actually stopping greater?
I would have to say that is true. It does.
Right? So would you be willing to play with this just tomorrow, Roseanne?
Sure.
Just for tomorrow. I would really love for you to listen to this show again, because when you're actually a caller, you don't you'll catch more about yourself when you're listening to it. But listen to this show one more time, and then I would love for you to play with this tomorrow in your world. Just play with it, like 10% play with it, and see what starts to get unlocked. If you're actually willing to play with this and willing to receive just a little bit more, so much can start to come of it, right? It's like, I want you to imagine it like this. Your willingness starts a crack. A crack starts to open up in your reality. And if on the other side of that crack is a raging river, guess what's going to happen? That crack is going to widen fast. And when you seriously are willing, that can change so fast. Are you ready for more in your life?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Okay, could you just tell your brain to stop it? Your brain is not your friend. Tell her to be quiet. Give her something to do. seriously, when I ask some of these questions, and Keisha did put them in the chat room, when I ask some of these questions, Roseanne, I will then go and I will do something with my brain. I will clean the laundry, or I'll clean the dishes, or I'll go do grocery shopping or something. I will give my brain a job so it doesn't get in the way of what I've asked.
That's the whole problem. That's what I began with.
Cool. So set yourself up for success by getting those questions ready and then getting your tasks ready. Ask the questions and then step right into the tasks. Thank you
you're right.
much, and Roseanne. And I really do want to hear from you. I want to hear how tomorrow goes.
Okay, thank you.
Will you do that?
Yeah, of course, definitely.
Yay! Okay, thank you so much. How awesome is that? Someone that is willing to be vulnerable and to change something, as much as Roseanne was, saying that she's, stopping herself and everything, her willingness to call in actually was the very first crack that began changing all of this for her. So congratulations, Roseanne, in choosing you. Where are you stopping you? Where are you refusing to have more? What is the value in always playing it safe? What is the value in always doing things the way you've always done them to get the same result you've always gotten because you've decided and concluded that that's the only way that it can possibly come in because that's the only way it ever came in, and damn it, that's the way it's always going to be because it's just me. Oh my God, are we crazy or what? Do you know that we have those loops playing in our minds all the time, over and over and over again? It's absolute insanity. Okay, we're going to go for our last break. You are listening to Inspired Choices here on A to Zen.fm with Christine McIver, and we will be right back after this short commercial break where we'll talk about being willing.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Hello. Well, tonight we are talking about being willing, blah, 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 being willing to mess up, just like I just did. What we're talking about tonight, are you refusing being willing? Anything you're refusing being willing to actually has you stuck, actually has you handcuffed to what you cannot have, be, change, or receive. What if you're lying to yourself about refusing being willing? How many of us said, no, I totally am willing to do that. I'm totally willing to be that. I'm totally. Oh yeah, for sure. And then we turn our heads. We cut off energetically. Do you ever say something, it comes out of your mouth, and in your mind you're going, you are not. That is such a lie. And if you're with a really potent, aware friend, they're going to go, you just lied to me, right? If you say it, and it's heavy after you say it, you know that it's a lie, right? So would you be willing to actually be upfront and honest with yourself when you start to look at something, oh, I'd like to choose that, and then it's heavy? Would you be willing to ask yourself, am I refusing being willing to choose that? Am I refusing being willing to have that? Am I refusing being willing to be me? It's really interesting when you start to tap into that. It's like you're looking at yourself, you're observing your own self in your own creation of yourself. It's kind of a bit of a twist on the brain. But when you do that, you can really start to change anything. So much of what we choose and how we act and behave is on autopilot. We have 60,000 thoughts a day. And 80% of those thoughts are the exact same thoughts we had yesterday. So changing something really requires being present with yourself, being conscious with yourself, and really setting some targets of what you desire to change or be. And when you can really be honest with yourself and you can really look at this is the way I've always done it, it's not working. When you're really willing to do that, you can start to change it all. What are you not willing to admit to yourself that is fucking stopping you? Are you willing to admit anything to yourself? You don't have to admit it to anybody else. But what if you actually admitted it to yourself and you had a really good laugh and you really started to change more? Are you willing to look at where you judge yourself? Are you willing to look at where you stop yourself? Are you willing to look at where you sabotage yourself by your unwillingness to look at everything? Wow. I think that this is a much bigger subject than we actually even tapped into tonight. And I would love to hear what changes for you when you listen to this show, when you take some of these tools and you bring them forward into your day over the next week or so. You know what? If we are going to have a different world, if we are actually going to have more joy and more creation and more celebration in the world, more happy bodies, more loving relationships, we all have to be willing to do our part. And you don't have to go to another country and contribute. You being willing to change something just with you, even if you're like Roseanne and you're at home with a lot of time in your hands, you change the world. Because every one of us are connected, everyone are connected energetically. So when I change, it impacts you. When you change, it impacts me. Would you be willing to start really looking at what's not working for you so you could be happier and create a world that's greater than we've ever had before? Just one choice tomorrow, guys, will create a greater world than we had today. Isn't that amazing? It's so simple. It's extremely simple. Would you be willing to have more laughter? Would you be willing to receive more in the world? Would you be willing to receive a little more joy, a little more possibility? Would you be willing to receive more of you? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so grateful. And I'm grateful for myself being willing to talk about things that sometimes are really uncomfortable for me. So if you would like to connect with me, if you would like to talk about any of the subjects I talk about, or if you're interested in possibly being a guest on my show, or hey, possibly having your own radio show, connect with me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca. I would love to hear from you, and I'd love to know more about you and what you're doing and creating in the world that's changing all of us. Thank you so much, guys. Have an amazing week. See you.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.